Hey, did you see the new robotics device from Boston Robotics? Speaking of robotics.
I don't know. Did I?
Oh, yeah. Well, let me see if I can find it for you because this thing is awesome.
Was Boston I thought, weren't they
Boston Dynamics. Boston Dynamics.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the one Google bought but didn't buy or something. I don't know. It's kind of confusing. Let me just.
Yeah.
They call it handle because it can handle things.
Nice.
Yeah.
This actually
like conflict resolution things.
It's a leaked video because, well, I don't think they want us to see it. To be honest with you, because it's on wheels and it's really fast. So just be nice to the robots, Mary Jo. I'm just saying. No. Soon they'll be faster than you are. Yikes! What do you got for us?
So, Microsoft is doing stuff in robotics too, but they won't talk about it, which is very interesting. They will talk about things like, we've talked about bot frameworks, chat bots, and things they're doing in that space. But I don't know if you guys remember this. When Bill Gates was still at day-to-day at Microsoft, they were really big into robotics, and they were investing heavily into robotics. They had a product called the Microsoft Robotics Studio, and they were doing all kinds of things about robots. When Gates left and the people who worked for him in Microsoft Research left, they just kind of stopped doing robotics stuff. But now they're going to come back and do it again. And so I started looking into this. I started kind of looking in job posts and, sneaking around like I usually do. And I found a few different references to things they're doing in robotics. And they're not those kind of robots. They're more like how Microsoft's going to use their technologies to work with industrial robots, so the things that are like robots in factories, things building cars.
Yeah, the things that are bolted to the factory floor and not coming after you like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I far prefer those things.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So they're working on applications that are in the robotics space. They've got part of their AI and research group is working very heavily in this space, and they're actually already writing apps to work with these kinds of robots. They're also doing a lot with drones, and you don't hear about Microsoft and drones that much, but they've got a team inside of Microsoft Research called the Aerial Informatics and Robotics Group, and they've been building what they're calling a fleet of flying robots. And some of these are, micro UAVs, aka drones, and they're also working on technology to help commercial jetliners in this space too. So they're kind of going the whole gamut in this robotics space. I don't know what they're waiting for to start talking about this, probably giving it to some other publication to do a big story, but they've got a lot of little skunkworks and big skunkworks projects in robotics. So stay tuned. I think we're going to hear more. Maybe Build, maybe some other event.
I guess that's now we know why they fired Brian Roper. They just have a robot with a hat.
Fedora robot.
Fedora bot. Actually, I think I'm going to make a political prediction here, but I think that it's not going to be long before people realize that the robots are taking our jobs.
Yeah,
and
that's exactly
like
right.
A boss.
And that at some point it's going to be politically difficult to admit that you're working on automation of any kind.
Right.
Do you think?
Yep. No, I think this is right now. I think this is the big misunderstanding about jobs right now.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
automation.
People think it's immigrants. It's not. It's robots.
Right.
So I wonder if Microsoft is going to downplay this at some point. Because what they're working on, it sounds like, is automation.
Yeah,
Right.
and they've been, Satya Nadella keeps putting out statements about the need for ethics in what they're doing in robotics and AI. And, this is him saying, we're not going to let, jobs go away. We're going to find ways to retrain people and have them work with AIs and not be replaced by AI. So they know that's a very touchy subject.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now's the time to, kind of prepare the country and our educational system for a new world where there aren't going to be a lot of entry-level jobs.
Right. You have to work with the robots.
It's kind of too bad that we're scapegoating immigrants when it's really going to be robots.
Sure.
Robots.
Yeah.
Robots can defend themselves more easily.
Yes, that's true. You can't build a wall against
Gotta be
robots.
careful around those guys.
It's the robots that will be building the wall.
Right.
We did a really good episode of Triangulation on Monday with Dale Dougherty, who does Make, and he's written, and his co-author was on too, a new book about reinventing cities, but it's also about reinventing education and creating small industrial centers where people can do productive work, but it's a little bit more. It's not big assembly line, massively automated stuff. It's skilled labor, and really calling for cities to kind of develop this stuff and the educational systems to start training young people so that they can get these new jobs that are coming. Anyway, then there's always RoboCop. Well,
sure, Skynet,
RoboCop.